Like, she says, I was going to hell for this, which is ironic because she was going to rob the hell out of the bank.
Welcome to Inchworm,
the podcast in which we are inching through worm. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Ted.
And this time we read Agitation 3.7.
Oh my gosh.
The beginning of a bank robbery.
Was it agitating?
I was pretty agitated.
Yeah.
Not as agitated as those people in the lobby.
No. That is where the agitation seems to be coming from in this chapter.
There's also some of it inside of Taylor.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's my job to tell the listeners what happened in this one. So why don't I do that, and then we'll dig in. So they had just pulled into an alley, 2 vans. Taylor and Tattletale get out of one van. Grue, Bitch, and Regent and the dogs get out of another van. And they, at the beginning of the chapter, Taylor gives us detailed descriptions of all of the Undersiders' costumes again, a detailed description of Bitch's dogs, and she goes into some detail on her swarm. Which we learn she and Tattletale had been driving a van full of 350 cubic feet of the best bugs Taylor can find.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the chapter, she throws open the van doors and the bugs come
pouring out.
Grue
throws open the van door.
Yes, yeah, he stumbles backwards because
bugs.
He's agitated when he sees the bugs.
The bugs might be agitated.
Then they cross the parking lot, head to the back door of the bank. Tattletale uses her power to reveal that there is a secret. There's not just an entry code, but there's a secret way to input it that disables the alarm. So they're able to get into the building. Of course, once they're in the building, they are on security cameras, so they reckon that they have 5 or 10 minutes before the heroes show up, though hopefully that'll just be the wards. They are sneaking in through the back of the bank, passing offices. Tension is building. They're checking rooms as they go by, hoping that they're empty. There's a guy in one room, and Grue takes him hostage using his power. There's a guy in another room, and Regent takes him hostage using his power. Mm-hmm. And they finally make it to their destination, the bank lobby. And when they enter, Bitch's dogs go bounding in. Grue floods the room with darkness to muffle the screams, and Taylor finally puts her power to work. She sends her swarm in and makes sure to leave a few bugs on every person in the lobby. And once she has done this, Grue dismisses the darkness, and Taylor talks to the people in the lobby, who are now all hostages. She says, we're only going to be here 15 minutes. Don't be a hero. You know, this isn't a TV show. We don't want anyone to get hurt. But to ensure that, look at this spider. Recognize it. That's a Black Widow spider. I have placed a Black Widow spider on each of you, or maybe more than one. And you know how venomous their bite is. If any of you try anything, the spiders on you are going to bite you a lot of times. And after, she's not funny about it when she makes this announcement, by the way. Then she observes the reactions of the people that she has just said this to. And she ends the chapter with some reflection that everything that she is doing and saying was her idea because it was the best way to control the situation in her mind and reduce harm, though she acknowledges that while doing that, she is terrorizing these people.
Yeah. And
the chapter ends as I saw the effect I'd had on these people. The justifications that she just talked about felt really thin. Mm-hmm. I was going to hell for this.
Yeah.
End of chapter.
Yeah. So we had an exciting action chapter. I feel like a lot of the chapter was still descriptions of stuff. Like I said last time, a really good time to give us these detailed descriptions I feel like the way that tension functions in narrative, like some of it is you've created a situation where you want to know what happens. Like, that's definitely a component of it. And that is in play here. I want to know what happens with this bank robbery. There's also an element of telling the reader what to expect. Like, what I'm expecting is to watch a bank robbery, and I'm interested in watching that bank robbery, therefore I am reading towards something.
Yeah.
Like, not just with an open question. Like, I feel like sometimes people try to build tension with, like, a mystery, which can be effective, but I feel like leading your reader towards something they know is coming, but they don't know how it's going to turn out, or they just want to see it even if they do know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
That's really the sweet spot of bringing readers along. And this is doing that really well. And what I was saying last time is, like, you can get away with a lot of exposition when the reader already sees where we're going and is excited to get there.
Yeah. It's tense in a very straightforward and satisfying way.
Right. We just don't know how this is going to go, and the stakes are pretty high. And we're really excited to see them using their powers and potentially fighting capes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the tension in the back half of the chapter was so good. It's a great example of, like, this is the part of the plan that is going well. This is the infiltration. You get to see how
everything goes really well.
You get to see how everybody's powers work in a really effective way, and it slowly escalates towards this great character beat at the end of the chapter that we don't necessarily know that we're building to that until we get there, but I feel like as a reader you are gradually made more uncomfortable the more random hostages get introduced. And you get to see how people sort of feel about what is happening to them.
So how should we do this? Should we talk about each of the Undersiders? Because we see costumes, we see powers. We could go person by person.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So let's talk about kind of the first half of the chapter first. We get a lot about each of the Undersiders. There's some really fun description stuff to read. We can come back to the ending at the end.
That makes sense. All right.
So who do you want to talk about?
We start really with Brian, with Grue. He's in his costume.
Yeah.
And I do notice when they're in their costumes, she is using their cape names.
Yes.
The narrative does that fairly consistently, I think.
It's a fascinating choice to have it be right on the chapter break. Like, if you go back to the end of the last chapter, Brian pulled a second fan into the alley.
And then Grue was already out of his vehicle. Yeah.
Lisa grinned. And
by the time Tattletale and I had shut the doors.
The next sentence after the chapter break, the switch is flipped.
Yeah.
But back to Brian.
Yeah, so I mean, it's so cool right off the bat. It says he was using his power at a low degree over the entirety of his body. The darkness soaked into and through the porous leather of his costume, making him look like a living shadow.
It's so cool.
He clearly looks so awesome. And he has vents in his mask so that the darkness can kind of flow in and out, so that there'll be like a vague form of this skull that people can kind of get a glimpse of sometimes.
Yeah. One detail I love about this is that even when he's not using his power, he has kind of an etching of a skull, black on black, that's hard to see. Yeah. Right? Which is almost like foreshadowing. When the power comes on, it gets even worse. Right. Now there's a black on black skull floating in darkness.
Right, but sometimes you can glimpse it a little. And I love this detail. When he had the money to spend, he was going to get a more complete costume custom made for him in the same way to expand on the effect.
Yeah, yeah.
He would/will be such a terrifying villain.
Ooh, yeah.
It's just like creature of darkness descending upon you.
Yeah, he uses his power on his voice.
Right, well, I think it's just that when he's using it to create the visible darkness, I think it automatically affects his voice. Like, I don't know if that's an optional part for him.
Oh, that's a good point. Because I think he said that he's unaffected by his own power, but that might not apply to, like, when he's
speaking
in the darkness,
aloud,
talking through it.
Yeah, like he can see through his own darkness. But other people might hear, like he can probably hear fine in the darkness, but I would imagine it would distort his voice.
Yeah. Okay, I have an idea about how we can do this. We were just talking about Grue. I want to now jump forward and pull out some of the ways he uses his power later.
Okay.
Right, so the first time that they find a potential hostage, a dog smells someone in the room, Grue raised a hand to plunge the room into darkness. A second later, he stepped back into the hallway, twisting the arm of a cringing 30-something man in a gray suit behind his back. I hadn't even realized Grue had entered the room.
Yeah.
And when they get to
it's just really hard to track.
When they get to the lobby, Grue used his power and the room was plunged into darkness, the volume of the screams and wails dropping to utter silence in a matter of seconds.
That's so effective. I mean, a bank lobby is usually a pretty big space, and this was really a grand bank building, so I imagine it's very big. He just filled it with his power in, seconds.
Yeah.
And that's, his power is, it's relatively specific, like all powers seem to be, but very effective.
Yeah.
Very strong capabilities in the narrow area of darkness.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a formidable opponent one-on-one, but this crowd control effect that he has when it's I don't know if we get a specific number. Did we learn a number of hostages? Call it 30 people. But they're unpowered, but he's able to quickly isolate each of them in their own kind of horrifying darkness. He doesn't have to fight them one at a time or, anything like that.
And it's actually really great for a group like theirs that is focused on committing crimes, not focused on causing damage to people. Like, they're not trying to... I guess there are groups that are trying to do harm. I don't know. But, when they're trying to do these crimes that are just, go in, get money, get out, having that level of power to just subdue a crowd without, direct violence. Very effective. So that's Grue.
Should we jump to another one?
Yeah. So who else do we see here? All right, we see Lisa get into her costume. We've already heard a little bit about it, but we, again, get into more detail. Her mask is really narrow, but apparently it does a really good job. It hides her freckles, and it changes the apparent lines of her face. It sounds like it's just really well made. Fascinating,
yeah. I love that.
Her costume is, relatively straightforward, but, seems to just be well designed in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, so simple black mask. She has her hair down as Tattletale and her hair up.
Ponytail or braided as Lisa, yeah.
And then she has the skin-tight costume, lavender with bands of black across the chest and down the sides of her arms, legs, and body. And
there's got to be some very good fan art of this.
Oh, yeah. An image of a stylized eye, only visible in the right light, given it was dark gray on black, was worked into the costume's design.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good interpretations of the Tattletale costume.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, and we don't see her doing a ton directly in this. We know she was very helpful in the planning. Mostly what we see is her doing that code on the door, which is incredibly important. They're able to get in without setting off alarms.
Yeah, yeah. And she basically monologues about it. Yeah. She could have just done it and let them in and not said anything.
That doesn't sound like her, though.
Yeah.
She also could have said this in advance. Maybe she didn't know it until just now, though.
That's true. Yeah, that's interesting. And after she does open the door, she has another classic Tattletale moment of taking the time to grin at them and be like, "What'd I tell you?" Can't help crowing about it, which I love.
Yeah, she does have fun. It's all a game.
But that's kind of the last, she gets them in, but then she takes a back seat for the rest of it.
But I can see her power coming in handy more times.
Yeah.
If there's something they need to find out, where the money is, the code to the vault.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So then we get Regent.
From what I'd seen while we prepared, I now knew his costume was deceptive. Interesting thesis statement about Regent's costume.
Yeah.
He has a white mask. He has a silver coronet. His mask has some detailing to it. He's got his puffy white shirt, but under the puffy white shirt, he has a mesh vest that's skin tight, and he has his scepter, which is a very goofy prop, but his taser is built into the scepter.
Yeah.
It was all about misdirection, misleading, and giving the impression of vulnerability.
Yeah, so I assume that the foam and the mesh vest are both sort of a little bit of body armor?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, so it looks like he's wearing some, stupid prince outfit, but it's actually pretty protective.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea of the taser and the scepter is just very funny. I'm intrigued by what this says about his personality. We've seen him be relatively lazy and, just not wanting to get involved in planning, not wanting to train, in it for sort of they're all kind of in it for the fun, but I wonder in what way that is deceptive.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my
Does
theory
Alec
that...
have his own
his own agenda.
body armor under his floofy
I mean, maybe
Prince
he'll
garb.
just surprise us and he's way tougher than I'm giving him credit for, and actually he'll really pull through for them in the end. Maybe he'll betray them, as I have previously predicted.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Interesting. And then when it's Regent's turn to take a hostage,
Oh, yeah.
they see the guy across the room. He opened his mouth. I think his intent was to cry for help, but broke down into coughs and sputters instead. A second later, he keeled over and collapsed onto the floor. He tried to climb to his feet, but his elbow buckled, and he hit the ground a second time.
Yeah.
While he continued to struggle, Regent strode into the room with an almost lazy air, grabbed him by the collar, and shoved him towards the hallway where we stood.
Yeah. Watching this in action, we don't actually know from the text of the book that we've read so far, we haven't learned where powers come from.
Yeah.
The fact that I know that they're caused by some sort of, I don't know if it's always trauma or just like really significant experience, is really just sort of extra textual knowledge that I have just from hearing you talk about it over the years. So it's maybe a little unfair to try to analyze these powers in light of that when I haven't heard it directly from the book. But watching both Grue and Regent at work, it feels like both of their powers stem from abuse.
Interesting.
Like it seems like Brian's power could stem from like kind of being locked in a closet, Harry Potter style, and that Regent's could stem from like being physically abused, like shoved around.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know that, but we do know that none of them are living with their families.
Yeah.
So wouldn't be completely surprising if there had been some abuse in their pasts.
Yeah.
And they all chose to become villains. Like, you don't do that for no reason.
Yeah. Hurt people.
Yeah. Right, so that leaves Bitch, who we really don't see much from at all in this, but we do get some fun descriptions of her dogs. Like, she's there, her dogs are there. She's been growing them in the back of the van.
Yeah.
Apparently it's less energy intensive if she grows them slowly.
Which implies she can grow them fast in a pinch. But
And
it would
she
be
does.
bad.
When they bound into the lobby at the end, I think they just like suddenly grow another foot or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she does.
Abruptly grew another foot taller at the shoulder. So she can do that. But the idea was apparently not to spend all of her and the dog's energy, it sounded like, by having to grow them quickly on the scene.
Right. Yeah, they start out like pony-sized and they end up like car-sized once they're inside the lobby.
The descriptions are really something.
Listeners of Animorphology know.
Gray will love this.
Yeah. Of the Animorphology hosts, we're the two that are okay with body horror descriptions. And I love that Wildbow's bringing that here.
I do think Gray is listening, our third Animorphology co-host.
The animals were the size of small ponies, their flesh having swelled and expanded enough that their fur had split at the seams. Muscle and bone showed beneath, and the arrangement of said anatomy wasn't exactly typical. They get a little bit bigger. Like, you can notice if you look away that they're just getting bigger.
Yeah.
Spikes, spurs, and an exoskeleton of bone growths had appeared to fill or cover gaps and grow in places where the bone was already close to the skin. The tail of the smallest dog, Angelica, I think Rachel called it, was twice as long as normal and prehensile now, and the other two were well on their way. It looked like someone had torn out a pair of human spines, the meat still hanging off them, and attached them one to the other before tacking the ends to the dog's hindquarters.
What a description. Well done. It's really fascinating how they grow. Because, like, you would kind of assume, like, dog starts out small, dog gets big. No, it's like the parts of them grow, like, but it seems like their fur doesn't grow, so it just gets, like, stretched out. And their skin maybe doesn't grow as much as the rest of them. Like, it must grow a little because they do have some skin. But, like, bone is bursting through. Extra bone does grow to fill in the gaps. So weird.
Yeah. And it's not like it's not morphing, transitioning from one thing into another. It's growth. And it seems like it's indefinite growth. But, like, it gets more and more unnatural the more she pushes it.
It's really fascinating body horror because, like, if you think of, like, you know, a preteen, a teen who's having, like, a really intense growth spurt and they get, like, cramps or Charlie horses or something from it. And you just imagine that expanded times, like, 1,000 and, like, parts of their body just grown out of other parts. Like, growth is actually really scary, especially if it happens irregularly like that.
Right.
Could be really dangerous.
Yeah.
Too. I mean apparently it's not dangerous to the dogs. Like that's
and they're well trained.
Yeah.
Like maybe it is scary the first time, but
the dogs were probably scared.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Or maybe it's awesome. Who knows? Yeah.
It's probably awesome once they're there.
Yeah.
Transitions are hard.
Transitions are really hard. Yeah. And then I love we get these enormous paragraphs describing the dogs, and then Bitch, for her part, was just wearing a jacket with a fur ruff collar and a cheap hard plastic mask of a bulldog. Uh-huh. Keeping it simple.
Yeah. We really don't see any personality or dialogue from Bitch in this chapter, I don't think.
Yeah.
Which is, it's really interesting. Like, she is such an extreme character, and we've seen almost nothing of her.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued for when we are going to see more.
Yeah, when she comes back.
Yeah. Because I've been so, like, we've gotten so many descriptions of her. I'm like, is she going to fall in line with those descriptions? Is she going to surprise us? Like, I just don't know.
Yeah, we haven't gotten anything from her this arc, but we had Brian talking about her and Lisa talking about her.
Yeah.
And Taylor talking to Danny about her. Mm-hmm. So we don't get more from Bitch, but we do get this about her dogs. Bitch's dogs charged into the room. They were nightmarish, barking, growling, and shaking themselves in a spray of bits of fur and blood as they abruptly grew another foot taller at the shoulder.
The spray of bits of fur and blood is just, again, so horrifying.
And now I'm thinking, I wonder how much of that final growth spurt is for the effect, right? Because if you grow them slowly, it's probably not
There's not a spray of blood.
But maybe she it's a little bit of flair from
It's like
Bitch.
Glory Girl landing on the asphalt and cracking it.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. This causes less damage to the city's infrastructure.
That's true.
Lisa was right. So, the person whose power we haven't talked about yet is Taylor.
Right.
You mentioned in your summary she drove around with Lisa, I guess, and built up a swarm in the van. And it seems like she was really careful about the components of that swarm.
Yeah, so she kind of breaks down what she's looking for.
Yeah.
How would you characterize her classes of bugs?
I like how she says, you know, traveling the city had given me the chance to be picky. These were the good ones.
Yeah.
Your real choice bugs.
Yeah.
She says, each of them fast enough to keep up with me or capable of being carried by those that were. Love that detail. Like, I bet the Black Widows are, like, being carried so they can, like, fly through the air.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The other spiders, too, probably. Using some bugs to carry other bugs, having that level of fine-grained control over your bugs to be able to do that, just, what? So powerful.
Yeah.
So she's saying most of them are durable sorts, larger centipedes, cockroaches, beetles, or capable of stinging and biting, bees, wasps, ants, and black flies. And then, in addition, to round out the number, moths, houseflies, and mosquitoes, who weren't the best attack bugs out there, but were easy enough to get and served to distract the enemy or bulk out the swarm.
Yeah.
So, like, a bunch of different purposes here.
Yeah, exactly. She has her tough bugs, her attack bugs, and her, like,
utility bugs. Yeah. Well, because strength in numbers, I mean, bugs are so small, just having large numbers is really useful. And, probably hard to find enough of these large and stinging bugs to
and if,
fill 350 cubic feet.
If a bee is trying to sting you, you can swat it. If 1,000 flies and one bee are coming at you, you're not going to see the bee.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely a strength in numbers thing in Taylor's power.
I didn't do the math, but 350 cubic feet of bugs is a lot of bugs. And what she says is that basically at any point in the city, she can command like 10,000 bugs. Not the good ones, but she can that's how many she can summon to herself just by not even trying. Yeah. So I have to assume we're at least an order of magnitude above that. So we're like hundreds of thousands of bugs, but maybe millions of bugs. Like, you could probably fit 1 million ants in a van, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, she also, like, this isn't like the amount of space a swarm would take up if you had like a bee swarm, like one swarm of bees could easily fill a van. But these are like packed in as densely as she can pack them without them injuring each other. And since she can control them and keep them from moving and hurting each other, she can pack them really densely.
And she describes the moment when she opens the van doors, the bugs just kind of like
expand,
come out, and then she's like, and now I'm going to just sort of fluff them up into their full size. And that's part of what's so startling to Grue. Because they're so dense. There's so many.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
I have to wonder how she layered them. Like, there was probably a complex, like, stratification of bugs. Yeah,
because like a 7-layer dip.
They don't all fly.
Yeah.
Like, the cockroaches and larger centipedes, and maybe the beetles. I don't know how much beetles can, like, stay airborne. I think they can kind of fly. Like, cockroaches can fly, but they can't, like, stay in the air. So there must have been, like, layers of those at the bottom, which really would limit her numbers.
Right.
Because you can't pack them too high or they'll crush each other.
Right.
So that's why, she had to round it out with moths, houseflies, and mosquitoes can all fill out the sort of upper parts of a swarm.
Now we know what utility bugs are. We can just use the technical term.
But it is significant that her utility bugs are all bugs that fly.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and do you want to hear about how Taylor uses the bugs?
Oh, I do.
So, Lisa encourages her, your move, Bug Girl. They're calling her Bug Girl or Bug.
Yeah.
So they do sort of have a...
Well, you can't call her a name.
Right.
Yeah.
They have a cape name for her, but it's not really
interim until she starts being called Worm.
Exactly. So with a mental command, her bugs flood into the lobby, crawling over, under, and around them, left several bugs crawling on each individual, and when that's done, she starts her speech, and then she dramatically reveals a spider on her finger. She proves that she can control them by having the spider, dangle from a thread on command. She's a Black Widow spider. A single bite has been known to kill a full-grown human or put them into a coma. You move, talk, try to find or kill the spiders I just put on your bodies and your clothes and your hair. I'll know in a split second, and I'll tell them to bite you several times.
Yeah.
And I just want to read the next paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped to let that sink in. I looked over the room. 40 or so people. I saw a full-grown man with a tear rolling down his cheek. A teenager with freckles and brown curls was glaring at me with raw loathing in her eyes. At one of the counters, a matronly bank employee was shaking like a leaf.
I know this isn't the point of reading that, but I'm always intrigued by sort of more fleshed out descriptions of background characters like this. I'm like, does that mean they're going to come back in some way?
Oh.
Like, freckles and brown curls. That's like kind of specific, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is this going to turn out to be like a bigger character? Who knows? It might just be we wanted to describe the teenager. Yeah.
And it's also good to have the, to really make it real, the effect that Taylor's having on these people.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. This was her idea. We know that she's been focused on mitigating danger, avoiding harm to the bystanders/hostages. And she's saying the worst case scenario is some regular schmuck in the bank pulling some stunt and getting themselves or others hurt or killed. So she's really focused on crowd control, like you said. And Brian's crowd control, while very effective, isn't, total.
Yeah.
And probably can't persist that long. If they're trying to get money, they can't, do it in a cloud of darkness, maybe. So she has this idea. She's like, this will keep people from getting hurt. But I don't think she was able to fully imagine the horror that they would be going through. Like, someone's getting superpowers out of this. Like,
ooh, yeah.
This is such a traumatizing experience for, like, this is the kind of thing people get PTSD from.
Yeah.
Like, you go to the bank, suddenly you're plunged. Suddenly there are huge monster dogs that appear, like, shaking blood and fur off of themselves. And then you're plunged into darkness where you can't even hear or feel anything, really. And then the darkness goes away, and there's some girl telling you that you have poisonous spiders, like, in your hair, under your clothes.
Yeah.
And you'd better not move too much, or they'll bite you several times, and you'll probably die. You're not going to be talking about this at the water cooler, is all I'm saying.
Right. And Taylor, did you consider, what if somebody here is an arachnophobe? Yeah. They may not be able to
they won't be in, like, rational control over themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you really just laid it out. I guess, what do you think the Undersider's vibe is? as a villain team.
They're really scary.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Brian is terrifying. Grue is terrifying with, like, the darkness filtering out. He can plunge anything into darkness, which is just inherently terrifying.
Yeah.
And Bitch's dogs, also incredibly scary. Like, many of the villains that are very powerful aren't huge and monstrous looking like this.
Yeah.
So I think her creatures are exceptionally terrifying. I don't know that Regent and Tattletale are particularly visually or effectively frightening in their own way.
I don't think we have seen Tattletale be frightening at all.
No.
I will say the moment that we talked about earlier where Regent takes the man hostage, he goes to speak and chokes and then
that
falls over
and really
terrifying. Right, like that loss of control.
Right, and you never
autonomy.
know what you'll try to do and won't be able to do it because you don't really understand the control over you.
Yeah. And he uses it again later to like knock some people onto their knees.
That does contribute. It's not as spectacular as Grue or Bitch's power, but definitely terrifying.
Yeah. And it's right, and I guess
now
you don't
Taylor
even...
has bugs.
Well, so the new thing I'm going to say is it was amazing to me on a reread to just like, because like I feel like when you're in Taylor's head, you're like, yeah, this is my team. The plan's going great. The tactics are awesome. And I was reading this being like, oh my god, that's so scary. Oh my god, that's so scary. Like the second half of this chapter is just beat for beat. You get to see everybody, Tattletale accepted, being absolutely horrifying to one or many innocent people.
Yeah, especially Taylor.
And then she fits right in. Right? It's like no wonder they were so excited to recruit her.
Yeah,
it's not
she fits their vibe.
Yeah.
And I don't think we had a real clear sense of that before, because like we didn't see them in action. On the rooftop, it was like, Regent Grue, Tattletale just hanging out with Taylor, being like, hey, thanks for taking out
Yeah,
Lily.
we saw some monster dogs fight a big guy. And this is a totally different thing. And this is more the kind of thing they do. Yeah,
they come in, they're really scary. And like Grue was saying, they usually get out without needing to have a fight.
Right.
In this case, I mean, to get into predictions, I can't imagine they'll get out without a fight. I wonder if it will be as straightforward as just the wards showing up. It seems like it probably can't be. Like, I suspect we're in for a surprise or two. But it does seem like someone, potentially the wards, is going to show up soon.
Yeah.
They were saying, 5 to 10 minutes from the time that someone noticed them. So it's probably been at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
They can maybe try to get some money. Someone's going to show up. I was curious. So you're the security guard at the bank. You're like, oh, we're getting robbed by capes. You call the protectorate. They're like, oh, okay, well, the actual protectorate people are out. We're going to call the wards. The wards are all in high school. So the wards, it probably doesn't take that long to get from their high school to the bank. How do the wards know that what is the signaling process for the wards? That's my question.
If they're in, history class.
Right. And they're not supposed to be betraying their identity, so they can't have, a flashing wristwatch that, displays where they need to be.
Yeah.
They could maybe have some kind of pager, if they're allowed to have pagers in school, maybe at Arcadia High you are, to facilitate the work of the wards. So maybe they have to, go and call someone and be told where to go. I imagine that would actually take a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, I don't know. I mean, probably Taylor's time estimate is correct. She probably has, reason to think that it's true.
Right.
You have to get permission to use the bathroom, and then you have to sneak off. Oh, one other thing I want to predict, one of the things that Brian pointed out when he was saying, rob a bank, why? Is that banks are really well defended against this kind of thing in Brockton Bay. So I wonder what they're about to trip in terms of anti-cape burglary protection methods.
Yeah.
Maybe even before the capes show up, there'll be some sort of alarm thing, I mean, I don't know what it would be that would, affect them and not the hostages in the lobby, but
right.
Something to protect the money, maybe, so they can't actually get at the money. I think I was telling you this earlier. My prediction is that they will get out of this with minor injuries. They're not going to get any money.
Ooh, bummer.
Just because I think Lisa's prediction, or Lisa, foretelling the future was yeah, we're going to be rolling in pools of money. And I was like, that can't literally be what happens. You just said it.
The boss will spot them.
The boss will make them whole because he just really wanted a job to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do want to dwell for a moment on just the predicament that Taylor has gotten herself into.
Yeah.
We just had this whole conversation where Lisa presented her philosophy of, we're just having fun, Taylor. Isn't this fun?
We're not terrifying. We're
isn't
fun.
what you're doing, Taylor, fun? Is this fun? Are you having fun? And what we have seen is just like, this is like not a good outcome, right? Based
this
on
doesn't
her...
seem like it should be fun.
It certainly
may be
doesn't
fun
seem
if
like
you
it should
enjoy
be fun.
exerting power over people.
I guess what I'm just inviting you to reflect on is like, Taylor's goal is to minimize harm. Mm-hmm. Her method of doing that is by controlling the situation as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And this is the particular implementation of that. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about it? Like, is this a tough call that she's willing to make, even if she suspects it means she's going to hell? Or is she missing something? Is this not worth it? Like, what is your
interesting?
Thought?
I feel like it's a leading question somehow. I think that she didn't accurately predict how traumatizing this would be for people. I think she was thinking more like, let's keep them from doing something to get them physically hurt. And she didn't really think about the psychological harms. Yeah. I think that's just like inexperience on her part. Kind of a failure of imagination. I think if she had seen this already, I don't think she'll want to do it like this again.
Yeah.
I do also worry, like, this is a really good deterrent, but it is sort of like, okay, you have a gun pointed at someone. If they do, in fact, move, are you willing to shoot them? Yeah. Is she willing to actually have Black Widows bite people? I can't remember if she's exaggerating, like, the idea of, if, one bite is maybe enough to kill you. My impression was that that's not the case. So it's possible she is willing to bite people because, like, she knows that it's not likely to be fatal. Yeah. Or maybe she can even, if she can control the spider's, like, biology to the point where she's like, it's time to lay eggs now. Maybe she can have them bite without releasing poison, or like bite just like in a way that doesn't really release
So even
poison.
if she's bluffing, she might be able to escalate the bluff a little bit.
Exactly. Because the problem is if someone calls her bluff, then suddenly she's lost all control over the situation. Yeah. And I don't think she's willing to risk killing someone, especially after Armsmaster's reaction to Leung. Yeah. These people don't deserve to be bitten, so she wouldn't want to do that anyway, but it also would completely ruin her reputation if she almost kills someone.
Yeah, well, it's funny you bring up her reputation. Like, how do you feel like her reputation is standing as of this moment?
I mean, it's pretty bad. She's with this terrifying gang of terrifying people.
I wonder if she's thought about that. Even if she shows up with the boss's head on a platter. I
mean, are we worried? Is she worried about how she's going to be portrayed in, like, popular media? Or is she worried about what the Protectorate will think of her? Because I think she's only thinking about the second one. Right. And, yeah, she's not concerned with public opinion at this point. She's already got an image problem by being the girl who controls bugs. Like, that's already super creepy. She has this terrifying-looking costume.
Yeah. And, right, I mean, I don't actually know that she could effectuate this outcome using a whole ton of bugs any other way. Right? It is sort of the card that she has to play. Yeah. The other thing I was going to say that you brought up that I thought was a really good point is that maybe she did think about the, like, what if I was in this situation? And just her experience being bullied, dealing with stuff, she is struggling to sort of, like, relate to people in this sudden upsetting situation when she's so practiced at just being like, well, whatever, this is fine. That's an interesting point. I have a lot of self-control. I don't respond to anything but, like, the worst bullying at this point. So, like, someone tells me not to move because the spider's going to kill me. I just wouldn't move. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah. R.I.P. to those other people. She's different. Yeah, that might be part of it. Yeah. One thing, like you said, this is her only card to play, but also she's on a team. Like, she didn't have to take this role. They would have figured out a way to control the crowd. Yeah. Even if she hadn't joined.
Yeah, lots of banks get robbed without
Black Widows being put on the hostages. Yeah, I think almost all of them that get robbed don't have Black Widows involved.
Yeah, I guess that's the other kind of, we don't know yet because we haven't seen how it plays out, but the sort of utilitarian question is, like, is this helping? Or is this going to strictly make things worse? Like, we don't really know.
Yeah, we don't know. If someone pushes back against it and she has to bite them, that might make things worse.
Yeah. Very interesting.
I wonder if Grue has the kind of control over his power where he could create bespoke darkness for each person in the room.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, we haven't really seen that.
Yeah.
Because that would be pretty effective.
Yeah.
But that kind of fine-grained control over like 40 people, that's tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Taylor has with her power sort of an ability to monitor a lot of streams of information.
Right.
And we don't know that Grue's power comes with that.
Right. Sounds good.
So yeah, I'm not sure what else there is to say about this chapter. Do you have any...
Nope. Do you have any predictions?
I mean, my prediction is just they're not going to get any money out of this, but they are going to get free with minimal injuries.
Minimal injuries. Will there be a cape fight?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there will be. I think there'll be at least one booby trap on the bank. It would be very interesting in terms of propelling future action if one of them gets taken hostage.
Ooh, yeah.
Like Alec gets taken hostage.
Yeah.
God, or Tattletale.
Oh my gosh.
That would be really bad, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Have to do a jailbreak arc.
Yeah. Doing a jailbreak without Tattletale? Yeah. Terrible. Yeah, so that would probably be the best person to get taken hostage.
Better watch out, Lisa.
Yeah, we'll see. So I guess that's my prediction, that Lisa will get taken hostage.
Love that. I have to tell you, a new cape is mentioned.
Oh my gosh.
In the next chapter.
I hope they show up.
Browbeat.
Browbeat. I mean, why do all of these capes just sound like people who punch you?
Have you met superheroes?
I actually haven't in real life that I know of, but maybe I just don't know. Yeah. Are you trying to tell me something, Ted?
No.
I do have a prediction about Browbeat, though. I think Browbeat is someone who can grow their hair really long, and then it's kind of like Rapunzel's hair in Tangled, where it's like a little bit sentient, and they can beat you with their brows.
Yes.
And the other hair on their head, but, hair beat just didn't have the same ring to it.
Yes. Oh my god. Hair beat shaved to just Browbeat. That's super exciting. I can't wait for some hair on bug combat.
Yes. The bugs will get caught in the hair. I did ask the question when she had the burned hair, can bugs give you a haircut? Can bugs cut off Browbeat's hair? We don't know.
We don't know. Could be cool.
I'm just excited for the image of the person with just really long head of hair, but also really long eyebrows.
Yeah.
That kind of cover their face because it's hard for eyebrows to do anything else. Or maybe they're swept back, but they're whipping through the air sentient
they
vines.
have little hair ties in them so they can use the brows as nunchucks.
It's prehensile hair is really the
can fight the dog's spine tails.
Exactly. Just a hair versus spine tail.
This is, we gotta get to the fanfic minds immediately.
Are you saying this isn't who Browbeat is? Okay, but not just hair on your head and eyebrows, but also body hair. So the hair on Browbeat's arms.
That's true.
Pubic hair.
That's true.
Yes. Specially designed costume with genitalia carefully covered up, but the pubic hair has vents to leave through. Yeah.
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 It's a beautiful portrait we're painting.
Get to the fan art.
Well, we'll see all of that and more.
Will we?
Next time.
Next time.
On Inchworm. Worm is a web serial by J.C. McCrae. You can read Worm at parahumans.wordpress.com and support the author at patreon.com/wildvote. Follow us on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Inchworm Podcast, or find our Discord link and any other updates on inchwormpodcast.com.